Indrid Cold, commonly known as the Smiling Man, is an alleged humanoid entity. The nickname comes from the being's tendency to smile at almost anyone that encounters him. It is said that he still visits West Virginia to this day. The description: the grinning man is reported to have a human-like appearance. Though it is commonly associated with UFO activity, it is sometimes believed to be an alien. It is also believed to be a part of the Men in Black. In his first sighting, he was described as being over 6 foot tall, wearing a reflective green suit with a black belt. He has a very dark complexion with small, beady eyes that were spaced far apart. He was described as not having a nose, ears, or hair. In his second encounter, his suit was said to be blue instead of green, but still retained his reflective qualities. Along with that, he was described as looking perfectly natural with slicked black hair, wearing a long overcoat. He was also reported to having very tan skin, although not described as dark this time, and looking like a normal human being. According to some reports, Indrid Cold came from a planet named Lanus in the Gemini's galaxy, and that there was 2 other grinning men at his side by the names of Demo Hassan and Carl Ardo. The first sighting, Indrid Cold, was first seen on October 16, 1966, when 2 boys, Martin Mouse Monviv and James Jimmy Yanchitis from New Jersey, when they were walking on 4th Street, when they saw a surreal figure standing near a fence. As they walked closer, the figure was a tall, bald man wearing a metal green suit who was staring right at them with a huge grin. The man then chased them until they got away from him. UFO sightings were also reported around this area. Jimmy nudged me, he said, and said, "Who's that guy standing behind you?" I'm looking around, and there he was, behind the fence, just standing there. He pivoted around and looked right at us. Then he grinned a big old grin. The boys only reported the more frightening details of their encounter later on. They would recall that the man in the green suit was unusually tall and had unnatural facial features, such as a lack of ears and nose. Even though most sources mention New Jersey, Indrid Cold and the Grinning Man could be completely different entities. On November 2nd, 1966, in Parkersburg, West Virginia, around the same area and time of the Mothman, Woodrow Durenberger was driving his way home on the Interstate 77 until he heard a crash. Then, a unidentifiable vehicle appeared in front of his truck. He described an old-fashioned kerosene lamp chimney flaring at both ends. The Grinning Man came out of the vehicle with a dark tan, walked up to Durenberger, and telepathically said his name was Indrid Cold, and he meant no harm. Cold said he just wanted to know more about the human race, and when he would visit Durenberger again. During the same time at Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the Lilly family had reported that poltergeist activity had happened in their home, such as diamond-shaped lights, and their youngest child had woken up to see tall, grinning man standing above her, who presented himself as Indrid Cold. It was a man, a big man, very broad. I couldn't see his face very well, but I could see that he was grinning at me. He walked around the bed and stood right over me. I screamed again and hid under the covers. When I looked up again, he was gone. It is commonly believed that Indrid Cold may be an alien entity, and this is supported by its close connection with UFO activity and with Derenberger's sightings. It is also said by Derenberger himself that the Grinning Man is in fact a species of aliens, although it is unlikely unless the aliens are shapeshifters, because it would be almost impossible for a race to take the same exact evolutionary path as humans. However, the third sighting by the Lilly family insists that it may be ghosts or spirits of some kind, and was connected with poltergeist activity happening in the residence. It may have been a prank that went too far, or just simply a man with a mental illness. Others believe it's just a hoax meant to drum up popularity to rival that of Mothman, who had been seen around the same time and place.